learn persistence lifecycle. As we know in JPA, we have a persistence, which is a set of standard for ORM tools. So whenever we create this, whenever the entity is created within the JPA, it has a particular life cycle through which it is it goes into the persistent context and comes out of it. So what is this? In transient, there are 4 states in the persistent life cycle. That is the transient state, persistent state, remove state, and detached state. So what happens here is, in transient state, it will be stored in the heap memory. What will be the transient our entity, which entity will be stored in the heap memory. So in this, when we use when the entity is created and it is stored in the heap memory, when we use this persist method and pass the object that is the entity object over here, then that entity will enter into the persistent context. So from this transient to now it is going to the persistent state. So this is now our entity has entered within the persistence context. Now in the persistence context, right now it is in the persistence phase. In persistence phase, what it happens is maps with the database. So whatever database we have, RDBMS, so it will map with this database, and when we use commit, so all the values will be stored within that database also. Now what happens is, once the mapping is done, when we use remove method, what happens is from the persistent state, entity will come out here, and what happens when we use the remove method, that means this entity will come out, and along with it the data which is stored in the database will also be cleared or deleted. So using remove, once the entity has come out of the persistent context, the data will be removed. So this was the remove stage. Now what if happens if we want to, now the 4th stage is similar to remove state only. When the entity is in the persistent context and we use detach method, so what happens is the entity will come out, but the data will be stored as it is. It will not change, or it will not get deleted within the database. So this was the detached state. Now once it is detached or removed, if you want to bring it back to the persistent context, we use merge method. So it will go back again to the persistent context. And one more thing, the persistent and DB interacts with these 2 methods, that is find method and get reference method. So what happens here is, in the find method, it is also called as eager finding. What happens in this is, whenever you use this method, you will get directly the result set or data structure or data which is stored in the RDBMS. And whereas using the get reference method, you will get the data once the object is called. Then only it will show the data. So this is all about persistence lifecycle. Thank you.